You either live long enough to eventually become the incarnate of Rainbow Robbie, and remember, Exodus, the trading card game, it's always here. It's the game where rarity matters, and games are relatively quick from what I've heard. But without further ado, I gotta make them a video, and here it is. This is Rainbow Robbie now. I'm kind of starting to think in terms of lore for this, that there are going to be like multiple Rainbow Robbies, like just the way that you can like bend the power of the rainbow. Yeah, and remember kids, power is yours. God, I love Captain Planet. Alright, let's dig into this YCS Japan discussion, shall we? What happened this weekend? Why has nobody been talking about YCS Japan from this weekend? You figured this would have been a pretty important thing. And also remember, Rainbow Robbie is always equipped on top of another fantastic shirt, because power this powerful only can come on top of another base form. Alright, so YCS Japan. Now, a lot of people were excited for this because, well, the playmats were awesome. You had the Tour Bus mat, you had the Sky Striker mat, you even had the Dark Magician mat, and oh my god, they all looked so beautiful. Like, it was actually pretty insane. The event itself was under some really weird conditions. Now, this is the first time that Japan has ever had something like this. And a lot of the American players were going to try to go to this. They were like, oh, it's going to be your standard YCS. No, that was not the case, actually. This YCS was a very strange thing. Now, of course, this is held underneath the OCG ban list, but the interesting part about this event was it was a special 1-out-of-1 format. Now, you know what that means? You go to an event like this, your deck has to be built from the get-go to be able to handle the metagame. There's no side decking. The side deck mechanic is gone. And I think a lot of people didn't really realize the power that this format was going to present itself to, which opened up a couple of interesting paradigms, just in particular for this format. So, when a format like this, now let's open up a couple of interesting paradigms for an event like this. You have players that are probably going to look towards degenerate strategies to kind of take their opponent off guard. Now, really weird examples from just trying to mastermind something here would be the possibility of wanting to play burn for an event like this. You're going into this event and, well, you're probably like, well, why would I not want to try to use Trickstars to kind of pressure out all the opponents? It's 1-out-of-1. My opponent has to main deck the spell and trap card hate. You know, a lot of these particular matchups, I don't think people realize they're only really good post side decking. You know, you bring in these other cards to kind of alleviate this. But when you're going into an event like this, your 40 to 60 card deck is it. That's the only stuff that you can bring with you to be able to counteract the metagame. That's insane, alright? So, this sets a precedence because, one, not only because of time constraints for Konami to be able to hold the event, but, you know, it's not like an American event where you can just be there for 10 to 12 hours, you know, just too much of an issue for that. So, I think the players definitely, well, it goes to show that the way that this event worked and the difference in the format was immense. So, we had Sky Striker Trickstar win. Now, Sky Striker Trickstar was pretty much an American thing for the longest time. We touched the deck. Japan had Reincarnation limited. Nobody really touched it. And they felt pure Sky Strikers were just the more dominating force. I don't blame the OCG for having this mentality. It's almost correct, in my opinion, to probably go down that path. But let's look at the flowchart of things here. One, you're in a 1-out-of-1 format. So 1-out-of-1 formats means you can cheese your opponent a lot more. The OCG still has the Firewall Trickstar loop. Now, for those of you that don't know, Nightmare Goblin giving you the ability to get the additional normal summon with Firewall and Lily Bell effectively kills your opponent. Your opponent does not have a means to beat that, especially main deck. Like, most people will bring in their anti-Trickstar cards going into games 2 and 3, but once again, you don't get that here. So if your opponent is going through this really consistent thing, and they take their only L in Swiss. Remember, I think it was, what, 6-1 to to make sure that you could top this event, because I believe the Trickstar guy, the Trickstar Sky Striker duelist that won, ended up going X1 for the day. So that's actually really impressive just in the long run. Like, holy crap, like, can you guys play a 1-out-of-1 format and go that consistent? Like, I don't even think I can do that. Like, that's just bonkers to me. Now, his deck took the same mentalities that a lot of us here in the TCG were doing. We're like, oh, cool. You have a very consistent burn engine at your disposal. Check. You have the consistency of the Sky Striker package. Check. You get Afterburners, you get Widow Anchor, and jamming waves and Hornet drones. Cool. You know, check. And then, in addition to that, like, you have a cheesy OTK. Like, cheesy OTK, consistency, and burn, all wrapped up under one package that your opponent cannot be prepared for. Huh. That seems pretty fucking good to me. Doesn't it, guys? Like, let that sink in for a moment. Like, that's just a whole lot of insanity under one package. And then, of course, like, there's no side deck. Like, cool. So I'm stuck on my same build for the whole day. So we better make sure that we can make Needle Fiber, right? Like, there's absolutely no reason not to make one of our best assets. So I don't know what you're supposed to do going into this event. So, one, there's never been a format like this before, so I guess you kind of are going in blind. But when you think about the particulars of this event, the first question that comes to my mind is, how much of your side deck that you would have already been playing, how much of that would you put into the main deck? You know, you kind of have to ask yourselves these questions, like, how much of my... How many of these matchups am I going to be playing? Like, obviously, you're probably going to main fucking Harpy's Feather Duster because you need to be able to beat the Sky Striker matchup. Like, you have to assume the really weird scenarios, and you have to make sure that those assumptions that you're bringing to the table do not bite you in the ass. Like, I'd be more worried about the strange choices that I'm making for the day punishing me more than making a really bad call. Like, the weird interactions that can come up from your already main deck, side deck choices, like, I guess, just seems really weird. Now, there was one other abnormality that came out of this event, and it was Buster Blader. Now, Buster Blader, I believe, made top 16 with Buster Blader, and of course, I'm going to have both of the actual deck list on this channel probably later today for you guys to look at and discuss. But when we were looking at this Buster Blader, ladies and gentlemen, 2018. I didn't actually think about this, but cool. Going into a 1-out-of-1 format, your opponent probably might not know what to do about Buster Blader. This is actually one of those times that having a rogue deck rewards you, actually. So, hi, I'm new to the game. I've been playing for the last 6 months. This is a very good example. I don't have knowledge of previous formats. I might know what a couple cards do, but if my opponent's almost Fossil Dino on me, I'm going to be in a really bad position. So let's take that same mentality, go into a format where everybody's just really familiar with the current format. You're playing Rogue. You're playing Buster Blader. Alright? You Buster Blader lock your opponent's extra deck every single game. The only thing you care about at this point is getting as far as you can. Your opponent cannot side deck for you. I think something cheesy like this was a really good call for this duelist. I am almost shocked that he didn't go further. I mean, top 16 is still very, very good. I would not be too mad at myself for pulling that off. You know, let's call it what it is, but that's still a win in every Buster Blader player's book. You got further than the average Joe did. And I would like to equate it to just opponents not being very knowledgeable about the deck, the fact that players might not have known what to do, or players just weren't fucking side decking for it. Like, what do you do in a 1-out-of-1 format when your opponent locks your extra deck? You don't do anything. You sit there, you stare at your opponent, and you go, you got me. Like, that's how it works. You know, especially in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where consistency is a pain in the ass. You know, let's call it what it is, variance. But I think this format definitely has more deck building on your side in terms of skill. Obviously, luck is a major factor for this, but you do not have access to that side deck, which just inadvertently messes up your entire day. So, YCS Japan, I look at it being a success for this because, one, Konami managed to slip another format under our noses, which makes things very interesting. And to top things off, well, you have more testing, which is very interesting. I say more testing, like more rogue decks players taking the advantage of, and it now means that maybe other players will be inspired to want to play something as crazy as Buster Blader. So, I don't know, just my 2 cents, but what do you guys think about YCS Japan? Were you guys expecting Striker Trickstar do anything? I'll be honest with you, I did not see this coming at all. I don't think anybody did, and it's very shocking to see that it took them getting their engine hit to have this end up being one of the best decks, or an option even, for their game. So, congratulations. I definitely got to give it up to Japan. I would love to see YCS Japan be more of a standardized event, or at least them try something like we do for the European YCSs and the American YCSs. I think it would be pretty cool, but 'tis a whole nother world out there. So, yeah, guys, please leave a comment down below to me what you guys think. Remember, Exodus, and well, guys, that's all I got. Peace out.
The ride never ends, guys. Make sure you enable those notifications to get the latest videos that are being posted on this channel. Make sure you guys check out VanCole40 for my Cardfight Vanguard channel, and join me and House of Champions on the Zodiac Duelist TV Twitch stream. We'll be interacting with our audiences. And please check out No Limit Gaming and LGTCG.com for the cheapest trading cards on the market. Thanks for watching, guys, and please have a good day.